Hello, my name is Marco and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be talking about what is investment property and who is it for? Well, let's start straight off. So what is investment property? Well, investment property is typically property that earns you an income. So you may think of single buy-to-lets as a perfect example of investment property. So you've invested a lump sum in a single buy-to-let and that gives you a monthly return month on month. That is the most common form, and then you can move on to other things such as HMOs, houses and multiple occupancies, where you rent the rooms out individually. Typically these give you a slightly higher return, but they're more time and effort to deal with. You've also got stuff like blocks of flats. So for example, I've got a block of flats, really great, because think of it of having maybe 10 or 11 single buy-to-lets, but in one building. So how this benefits yourself is you can benefit from economies of scale. So you're not just actually going to 10 or 11 different properties, they're all in the same location. So all your trades, all your management and all your time is hyper effective. Of course, there are other types of investment property. We're not going to talk about commercial too much. I'm going to focus mainly on residential on this channel. But again, you have commercial property where normally companies invest in a commercial property for its yield and will take that every single year. So that's in a nutshell what investment property is. And we're going to move on to the second part of the question, who is it for? Well, there's a massive misconception that investment property is for very wealthy people. That's completely not true. Of course, wealthy individuals and companies do invest in property because that's where a lot of money is made, and that's, again, how a lot of money is made in the first instance too. But it's not reserved for the super rich. Anyone can get into property no matter who they are and how much money they have in the bank. Very briefly, I'll tell you a bit about how I started, but you can certainly start far faster than what I did. I mean, I had a FTSE 100 job. I worked 3.5 years in that role, and over those 3.5 years, I saved every single month and gradually built up a deposit to have my first investment property. I also have several other businesses on the side before that, and I had a few savings in there that I could reinvest too. But you do not need to do that. You don't need to wait 3.5 years to slowly accumulate funds to purchase your first investment property. What you could do is, if you found a really good deal, maybe there's, say, a 30 or 40% margin in this deal, you could approach someone else. You will definitely know someone within your network that has the funds that you need to purchase that property. And providing there's enough profit in that deal and you're confident in that deal, then you could maybe come to some sort of agreement. So for example, it all depends how you exit that potential deal. So a really simple example, let's say you found a property, you know you can do it up and you can make about a 30 or 40% margin on this property, great. And your exit is via sale. So you get your money out by selling the property. Well, again, you can present your findings to the investor and they get paid on the sale of the property, and also you get paid at that point too. That's really nice and really simple, and making it sound a bit easier than it actually is, especially in today's market. That's somewhat tricky. We're very, very much at the top of the boom phase, so no one wants to be selling on property at this particular point in time. Another option you could do to exit the deal is to finance the property. So let's assume you've borrowed the investor's funds to do some sort of renovation to add the value to the property. Well, rather than selling the property at the end, you could actually finance the property so you can move from investor finance to a typical normal mortgage, which is often the case when you exit such deals. So the investor gets paid out when the mortgage lender takes on that property. And again, you get paid during that time too. So to summarise, that's what investment property is, and it's not reserved for those that have bags and bags of cash. Anyone can do it, and if you have any further questions about investment property, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Just very, very briefly, a bit about me and kind of why I'm talking about investment property. I've got a sizable investment property portfolio that I've been building up since 2015. I have single lets, I have blocks of flats, I have land, all sorts of properties, HMOs. I'm well versed in several different strategies, and this is why I'm here talking to you today, to try and help you take your first step into property and to give you a bit of knowledge about it. So if there's anything I can do to help, please do feel free to reach out to me. And the last thing I have for you is a request. Please could you subscribe to this channel? I'm going to be pumping out some really great and informative and educational videos to help you in your journey. Thanks very much.